So let me guess, at some point during your PhD, you must have thought, I'm going to do a postdoc after finishing my PhD. Or if you are in your current postdoc contract, you must have thought, I'll do another postdoc after finishing this one. Have you ever thought, is it really a career that you want to pursue? Today I'm here with you with another infographic animation. This was a survey that was conducted back in September of this year by the popular science magazine, The Nature. It conducted its survey across about 7,600 postdocs around the world, comprising of at least 93 different nationalities. And there were a certain number of questions that those postdocs were asked during the survey. So let's go and see this animation and let's see if you can find the important messages here. So there you go. So I'm sure you would have seen the 5 most important messages here. Let me just summarize them for you. The first key message here is that a vast majority of those postdocs felt uncertain about their career progression, right? At least 56% of the postdocs felt negative or extremely negative or somewhat negative about their career certainty, and that's the biggest problem with the postdocs, that you will always be on contracts, and that's actually a big stress to be in, and I'm not sure you would idealize this as your career after finishing your PhD. Now, the second key message in the animation was at least 74% of the postdocs felt that their employment prospects have worsened compared to the previous postdoc generations. And part of this could be explained by the fact, and this is what we covered in our previous video as well, that there is actually a very big gap between the number of PhD degrees generated every year and a permanent academic employment generated for those degree holders within the same time frame. So given this fact, I don't think you would want that you'd end up in a postdoc after finishing your PhD. Now, the third key message that you could have seen in the animation was that more than 50% of postdocs have worked for more than 20 times during their contract, over the weekends, and even during their days off. Now, is this a career that you would want? Would you not want to spend those extra holidays and your time off with your friends and family instead of working for long hours in the lab, right, with no return? This is something you should definitely consider. The fourth key message that was there in the animation was that at least 50% of the postdocs thought that their level of satisfaction has worsened compared to the previous year. Now, part of this was also due to the COVID-19 pandemic going on. It's a pity, unfortunate, but that's a fact as well. But we all know that part of this has come from the COVID-19 pandemic as well. Now, the fifth and the most important key message here that you could have seen in the animation was that at least 64% of the postdocs thought that the biggest challenge for their career progression was this huge and tough competition for funding. So, as all of you are aware, that the way postdocs work is that they have to write grants and papers and proposals for securing funding through their principal investigator and the university. Believe me, they do, if not all of it, they do most of the work, and what they get in return is not really worth the effort that they put into that. So there is a huge competition for funding, for securing the grants and proposals, and that is probably the reason the level of satisfaction has worsened, the career certainty has dropped, and overall a level of optimism has dwindled for postdocs. So I'm sure after looking at these 5 messages in this animation, you would no longer be thinking of pursuing postdoc after your PhD as a default career option, because I believe it is simply not a career that would progress you, right? You need a stable, a progressing career over the time where you would expect a decent return for the efforts that you put into the role. Thanks very much for watching. If you like the videos, please hit like and subscribe and spread the word around with your friends and family. Thank you very much and stay tuned.